We are
the
the Simdicate.
Hello and welcome.
You may be wondering how you got here.
You may be wondering your choice of podcast.
In this series, you'll hear a variety of stories that may or may not be fact or fiction.
Welcome
To the Simdicate.
If you can't believe the unbelievability, then there's something wrong with the writing.
It may be said with a degree of assurance that not everything that meets the eye is as it appears.
There is nothing in the dark that isn't there when the lights are on.
But it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Just how normal we are. And just who are the people we say our hellos to?
A rather good question to ask.
Especially on the
Syndicate.
And welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for another Simdicate file. And today, as the title says, we're going to go through Lumberjack's Dynasty. So a fantastic game that's been brought to us by Yumio Studios, the developers and the publishers, Toplitz Productions. So as always, I'm here with AO Mike.
Hello, everyone.
Bone 13.
I'm not here.
DeuceMS.
Oh, we're starting?
We're starting. And me, GaminGargoyle. I hope everyone's doing fantastic. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on anything that you hear, see, and have an opinion about. We want to hear from you folks. So let's just jump right into it. And I want to start off with Deuce. I know you've got, probably as close to many hours into the game as I do for streaming. What was your greatest pro of Lumberjack's Dynasty?
Don't remind me. My greatest pro with Lumberjack's Dynasty, right?
Yep.
My greatest pro for Lumberjack's Dynasty is probably the creativity of it, because it's so different from any simulator out there, but it's similar. It feels familiar, right? It's a really hard feeling to describe, but it's different and familiar at the same time, and I think that's the reason so many people love the game. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm trying to make it make sense. Maybe I'm trying to justify my answer, but it just seems like it seems like it's one of those games that really can drag you in and you not even realize it until it's too late. You know what I mean? Like, it's too late. It's like, oh crap, I'm addicted to this game now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you're past your 2 hours, no refund for you.
No refund. Yeah, none whatsoever.
Exactly.
It's just one of those weird feelings of you love the game because of that, and I think it's just because of its playability. Honestly, like it's so easy to play, right? There's no complicated puzzles to solve. There's no weird stuff going on. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense, but it makes sense to me somehow.
You don't need to be a high school graduate to play it.
Well, I mean, not even just that, but yeah, that exactly.
Yeah,
it fits perfect for me because my brain is kind of simple. So.
Well,
yeah, I mean,
and it's got lots of trees for you to cut down. So
it's got lots of trees for me to cut down. Yes, absolutely. But that's the main reason, honestly, for me, is because it's familiar yet different, and it brings you a different experience than a lot of simulator games that are out there. And that's the pro for me.
Nice, Mike. What's your pro?
My pro would have to be, well, much like Deuce, the playability. I mean, it's an easy game. It's a relaxing game. I when I play it, I enjoy it for the simple fact that, you know, if I'm just playing, not to create content, but just playing to play, I can pretty much do whatever I want, take my sweet time with it. I don't have to rush to try and get stuff done. I don't have to grind 6 hours off camera. You know, it's a relaxing, from that point of view, it's a relaxing game for me if I'm not in a rush to try and get stuff done.
Nice. So yeah.
Oh, and the clothing, you know, that's I'm going to bite my tongue on that one.
We'll get to it. We'll come back to clothing later. And what about you there, Bone? What was your big pro about Lumberjack's Dynasty?
My big pro of the game was that, to elaborate more on what Mike said, I find it very calming and relaxing. You can play the game at any time and you can just relax and you don't have to do anything. You can do whatever you want. And that's very nice there. I do like the fact that in the beginning, the story, the traditional topless storyline, family member is, moving on, or, whatever happened to the family member anyways, let's say. And, they're passing the baton on to you type of thing. And so you do have to build up, and I like that part of it. You just don't get handed everything. You just don't get a bunch of money and says, here, go buy your stuff. No, you got to work for it. And I do like that aspect. I like the day-night cycle that is in the game. The scenery is amazing. The atmosphere, it's a game like what Deuce said too is, and you said, it's a game that you could get lost in for hours at a time and not realize it, because you're just admiring the beauty of what you see and what you're doing type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to agree with, every single one of your guys' pros. The only thing that I would say anything different would be that I'm really happy that it is more open-ended. You're guided, but you're like Bone said, you're not dictated to, you have to do this first, then this, then that, then the other, then this. It's open gameplay that's like, well, I don't want to go pay off Aunt and Uncle right now. I want to go drive around and go find Shelly or Sally at the coffee shop, that type of stuff. I love the way that the game is made for like the building aspect of things too. You just go around and you hit a bunch of hammers and the wall comes up as long as you got the materials. I think they did a great job with a very old engine game for sure. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Agree.
So, yeah, building on that, in this day and age, knowing that the engine is from, pre-2010 and it's been worked on and everything ever since, what do you guys think of its ranking within today's day and age of simulators that are all using like Unreal or Unity engines? What do you think about that there, Bone?
Well, you can definitely tell it's dated. Just the gameplay, the FPS issues that happen, the terrain, the common bugs that happen. You can tell it's a dated engine versus a modern engine. But I mean, to go back, I think they've done the best that they know how to do with the limited engine that they are working with.
Well, knowing that you've played it pre graphic update,
right,
compared to the way it is now, I think they did one hell of a job for such an old engine.
Yes,
yeah. That graphics update just made things just really pop, which I think was
absolutely.
It was really needed for the game, just to bring it up to today's quality. I would expect to see from a Unity or an Unreal. This being on the old Aragon engine. Yeah, it's old. It's a very, 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 very old engine that they have worked on, tweaked, and I'd say they've done a pretty good job for getting it up to about 3-year-old technology.
To be honest, I did prefer the old us compared to the new us. The Lumberjack that we play. I did prefer the old one compared to the new one.
I'm with you on that one myself, truly. What do you think, Mike? Which model did you like more? Did you like the old character or do you like the newer character?
I would have to say the old character and also the old Christine.
Oh, don't even get me started on that. But that's a different subject. I got that one written down here. For me, I based all my thumbnails off my original seasons of Lumberjack's Dynasty, all on the old Christine. I was heartbroken. I actually took an emotional hit when that new yellow bug thing came out. And it was like, what? That's not my Christine. No. I was not very impressed with that. What about you there, Deuce? What are your thoughts on the engine and, the game's datability from that engine?
I don't think they need to use that engine again to build another game.
You don't think Cuba Libre or anything else like that should continue on?
I don't think they should be built on that engine. If they're being built on an engine, then they're building it on a dated engine. It's obviously dated. You know what I mean? But understanding I don't fully know what it cost, but I understand that it cost money. So understanding the cost perspective of it and the game that they put out, it's still really enjoyable even on a dated engine, right? It doesn't take away from the game. It would only add to have it on a newer engine. If that makes sense. Just from a player standpoint, I'm not a developer, I'm not a publisher, you know what I mean? Like I'm not an advertiser, you know what I mean? Like from a player standpoint, for me, it doesn't make that big a difference to me, right? That it's on a dated engine. I don't care. You know what I mean? Because it still looks fairly decent to be on a dated engine, but like Bone said, you could tell, it's on a dated engine. But at the same time, I would think going forward, any game they don't have in development yet should not be on that engine. It should be on the newer engine for sure. That being said, the graphics update that they did, because I mean, I played from day one as well, and man, the graphics look great, honestly. Even for it to be on a slightly older engine, you know what I mean? Like it still looks great. And so me and my buddies were talking about something one night, and I don't remember exactly what it was. And even if it did, I probably wouldn't tell you, because if I was having a conversation with these people, that doesn't need to be public knowledge. So we were making comparisons, and I pointed out to one of them that you can't compare everything the same. And one guy said, "Yeah, man, it's like going to a steakhouse and getting a big nice ribeye or something. You can't compare that with going to Waffle House at 2 a.m. and getting a steak there. It's not the same. It might still be good from Waffle House, but you can't compare that to the steakhouse steak."
Exactly.
And I went, that's a good point. Something can still be good when it's not compared to something else. So if you don't compare Lumberjack's Dynasty to some of the other simulator games out there, using the newer engines and that kind of stuff, graphics wise, it looks great. You know what I mean? So
I'd say it holds its own.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. I mean, I'm not trying to be negative about the graphics engine. I just think going forward, I feel like they should start using updated engines, honestly. Or do what they did with the update. The graphics update looks great. So
yeah, no, find some more things that they can work on and tweak. That's if they're going to do another title onto it, I'd agree with you that that's keep if you're going to be using that engine for one more title, make it that last title, but make it end with a bang.
Right. Yeah. Find whatever you can find, and then whatever improvements you can make them. That's all I would say about it.
Now, something that I know Mike's really big on, and that's the variety of vehicles that's in game. Is it too much, Mike, or is it just right, or not enough?
You need more. You need access to them all earlier.
No, I can definitely agree to that one as well. What do you think of one of the updates, like 2 updates ago, when they came in with the older style Scorpion and Bison equipment?
I enjoyed it because it gives you a feeling of, I can reach this before I have the money for the new one.
Yeah, you're not using a little putt-putt for, 600 hours everything before you can get it. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I agree to that. What do you think there, Bone? Is it enough? Not enough?
The vehicles?
Yeah.
For the vehicles, the equipment vehicles, I think it's good right where it's at right now. The non-equipment vehicles, they serve no point. Yeah, they're fun. The Doom Buggy's fun until they nerfed it. I mean, it's still kind of fun, but they're unneeded. You can't do anything with them. You can't carry anything with them. You can't. All you can do is the food quest, the delivery quest. That's all you can do with them.
Mm-hmm. Well, with the newest update, they came out with that silver Porsche cross Maserati cross whatever it is there. Have you actually had a chance to play it and figure out how it all works yet?
No, I have not played it, but when I saw the update, it's just like, okay, more pointless stuff. It has nothing to do with lumberjacking.
Exactly. Yeah, that was my thought as well. I mean, yes, I do like the fact that, you can, as long as you drive by somebody and they see you in it, you get 15 extra social points. But
yeah,
when you're trying to reach 1 million, or you got to use, at the very beginning for like the platform truck there, if you go through all the first missions and you didn't have enough money saved up to buy that platform truck outright, you're stuck. Forklifting all the way back and forth to drop off pallets at the lumber mill. Just kind of like,
Look at the surrounding area. Those vehicles don't fit the area.
No.
no one else in the area is going to own a vehicle like that.
I could understand if there was a school or something
the
in the
mayor.
game. But I agree, though. I think there should be more like work trucks, pickup trucks, flat decks, you know, those type of things. You know, I honestly agree with you as well. That was where my point was going was, you know, the vehicles that we get in game, they all have their purpose, but it is so singular in purpose that there really is no reason for me to go out and try to buy them all.
No.
You know, and then when you look around at all the
end game, maybe.
Yeah, when
you just
end game.
buy it. That's all you're doing.
Exactly. I mean, even the stats, the skills, sorry. I mean, you know, in order to get your next mechanic one, you got to have X amount of vehicles and such like that, right? Even still, you know, it's like, do I really want to go out and get the other vehicles right away, or do I hold off? Is it going to be, you know, maximum benefit to get it because I can do the transport missions? Whereas if you try to do it with Christine, you're automatically, you know, the best you're ever going to get, even if you take the shortcuts, is, you know, level 2 out of, you know, level 1, 2, and 3, you know, rewards. You know, so like for me, I think there could have been done a little bit of work on it as well there.
I mean, if they wanted to add more vehicles, add like all-terrain vehicles, like four-wheelers or little gators, something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You know, the UTC style. Yep.
Yeah, something like that, because that would make sense. And most people in living in those type of areas would more than likely have that.
And I mean, they could hand in hand, you know, put it into like a questing of deliver eggs, deliver milk.
Yeah.
You know, and you use the UTC, you got to put it all on the back type of thing. I think that would be, you know, something that could be done as well. What do you think, Deuce? What's your thoughts on the vehicles?
Ooh, okay. So I have a lot of good things to say about the game, but I have a lot of negative things to say about the game too. Vehicles is one of them. The skill thing you brought up, the skill tree is silly. The way that it works on all skills. It's pretty silly the way it works on all skills. The vehicle thing is really silly. Like, it just makes zero sense for me to be forced to buy 10 vehicles, of which 5 I don't need, or own 10 vehicles. Let me rephrase. Own 10 vehicles. You get the truck to start with, and you get the old tractor to start with. So to own 10 things that 5 of them I'm not going to necessarily need, and definitely if I buy the upgraded version, then I really don't need the old one. You know what I mean? Just to be able to put upgraded brakes on my vehicles. You know what I mean? Like, that makes zero sense to me. It hasn't from the time it was put in. I was like, I don't understand this. I don't like the fact that there's a what basically equates to a Land Rover or a Toyota FJ, whatever you want to call it. You know, the SUV thing. It's fairly useless, and like Bones said, it doesn't really fit the area. You know, there's some nice vehicles driving around, but I mean, it doesn't look like. I mean, I understand having a nice vehicle, right? You work hard, you own a nice vehicle, fine, you know, good. But now we've got the sports car in there, and it's like, I haven't even played since the sports car update. I'm not gonna lie, like I haven't touched it in 2 weeks. So, but I don't understand it. You know what I mean? Like you said, the platform truck isn't even available if you don't realize it early game, unless you have somehow saved up the money between finishing that mission and when you started. Like, you have to have the money to go buy the platform truck. Otherwise, you're trucking pallets to the store
on the forklift.
On the forklift. I mean, why can't we load those 1 at a time or 2 at a time in the back of the pickup?
Exactly. Or have a pickup truck that's used, you know, part of a mission that you get that, you know, you can fit 3 or just maybe even 2 into the back of it.
Yeah, just stack 2 in the back of old Putt-Putt, man. Why not? You know what I mean? Like, why not be able to... Yeah, why not be able to stack 2 of those in the back of Christine?
Yeah, I'd say, you know, make the vehicles a bit more user-friendly for sure. Yeah.
And another thing, this is, see, I told you I had a lot of negatives. Another thing is the pallet truck. That thing is at least a 1-ton truck. You could haul 12 of those pallets easily.
You could haul 13 by having an extra one on the hook, and it's not even going to shrink the bloody springs down on the back. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So in my opinion, when you take when you take and this is something a lot of people understand about the benefits of having it done this way. as far as the load on your computer is, right? So they optimized a lot by having the pallet truck. Once you hit the pallet truck with it, it is one entity in the truck. The truck is an entity, and that pallet becomes part of that entity. It's no longer a separate pallet stacked on the ground, laying around stuff, right?
That's right. Yeah, becomes one solid image.
So 6 of those is now the truck. It's now the truck entity. But that one hanging from the hook is still part of the truck entity because it connects. So instead of that, give me 12. Let me stack 6 on top of the other 6, right? Or 8. What is it? 6?
Yep.
Yeah, 6
yeah.
because you can carry one of the claws. 7. Yeah. Yeah. So give me the same thing, but just program it to double stack. That's it. That's all I'm asking for. You know what I mean? Like even with the pallet truck, it takes so long to get rid of pallets. It's so long. But anyway, the vehicles are that's one instance of a vehicle that I could talk about for a little while probably. But that's the core of it, right? I understand the fact that it's one entity. If it's already one entity, just make it you can double stack pallets. Most of the community wants that. You know, I mean, I don't see a problem with it, honestly. But the buggy, you know, I understand it's fun. I'm with Bone on this one. It's fun. You know, you need it for some missions, the transport missions, whatever. Cool with that. I like doing those. Those are fun. Get to drive the buggy really fast, jump off stuff. I get it. It's fun to do. The Scorpion machines, I get, and I really like them. And I'm with Mike on this too. I'm glad they added the lower scaled ones that you can get earlier on. It makes life a little easier in the game because let's just be honest. I think all of us know this. It is so flippin' hard to make money. Everybody gets tired of playing it. I will just say it outright. I don't care anymore. It is so hard to get anywhere as a streamer because we're not just playing one game for 5 hours a day. Playing multiple games all week. So
all week, yep.
It's so hard to get anywhere, man. Like that's my biggest complaint for it. It's just too much grind. It really is just too much grind.
But with the grind though, you don't find that, you know, it's like for me, it's like, I know whenever an hour and a half is up, my body starts telling me that you've been sitting for an hour and a half, time to get up and stretch. But I don't feel like it's been that hour and a half because I'm so focused on trying to make money that by the time I buzz down the 45 trees, it's like, oh, I need to take a break. You're like, wow. And then you look over, it's been 2 hours later. It's like, oh, wow. Whoa. Okay.
There are days where it flies by, and then there are days where 30 minutes in, I'm going,
it's not done yet.
God, I've only been going for 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, that's the downside to that game for me, is that there are days where it's like it just flies by, and I enjoy it, and it's fun. And then there are days where it's just a grind. You know what I mean? I just dread doing it. So
for me, it was back in the day when we were doing, you know, where we only had putt first start off with, going back and collecting everything that we hand chopped. That for me felt like it just was the longest time grind that there was because you drive putt all the way down to that far field. You take putt, you go all the way over down to your nearest drop off point or the nearest point in the river that you can reach. You know, and you do it all over again. You know, like to me, you know, getting the larger vehicles earlier was a big saving grace for that grind hate. You know, that was a grind I hated to do.
It's still just as much of a grind. You're just hauling more logs faster. Now, what do you do with all the logs? You can only haul 6 pallets at a time. You can only drive 32 at a time. It's not just the one vehicle or it's not just a singular instance that makes it a huge grind and a daunting thought as a streamer. You know what I mean? I don't want it to sound like I'm just getting on the vehicle subject and that being the problem. It's just the amount of time that it takes to do anything in the game because it all leads to the next task. So
exactly. And that was going to be my next conversation was on the core mechanics of the game for time-wise. Talking about how long it takes for the dryers, for example, or how long it takes to get from point A to point B. Is anybody else on the same boat that they really need to fix that? So that's like, you know, maybe 5 days or 3 days to do a dryer. And that even though it says you're doing 50 mile an hour or kilometers an hour, I actually went and figured it out. I took time. I figured out, okay, if each one of these dotted lines on the road is 12 inches long, then when you figure it all out, I did it in kilometers, sorry guys, but when I did it in kilometers, it comes out to just under 26 kilometers an hour max speed when it says that I'm doing
17 miles an hour?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Now I know why that the game was slowed down like that. It was to prevent AI from going crazy and around corners and that by breaking the route, right? So now the car can turn fully without going too fast, that its physics pulls it off its guided route and then causes a problem where it starts driving in circles, in the water, outside the water, that type of thing.
We saw it on Farmers Dynasty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did. But in order to fix that, though, they slowed not only the NPC vehicles down, they slowed the whole world down. But that's how the world works, right? So your vehicle doesn't drive forward or backwards. The world underneath you actually moves. Because it's a lot easier to program that way. The whole world moves while you have a static image of your truck.
You're giving me vertigo right now, me thinking about that. It's just so odd.
It is, but in a programming world, it makes a lot more sense.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense in a programming world.
I'll just continue to believe that my vehicle's moving.
Yep.
I've known about this for many, 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 many years, since the 90s. That's how all your Nintendo games, everything's been programmed that way. It's a lot easier, a lot simpler.
Whatever can remain stationary stays stationary. Everything else moves.
Yep.
But I believe too, Deuce.
What do you guys think, though, about the actual speeds of the vehicles? Do you think that they're well balanced, or does it need more work?
I think they're horrible. They need to go
Tell us
faster.
what you really think.
Yeah.
They need to go faster. It takes so long to get anywhere, no matter what you're driving.
Well, even to get up to Rabid Rock, it used to take us under 3 minutes to go from, with Christine, to go from the home farm all the way up to Rabid Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Now it takes almost 7.5 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it took Christine.
Just to jump on the bus.
Yeah. I think that, like with Christine, you might as well take the lawnmower and collect grass all the way down there. I mean, like with the new settings, at this time, you were driving, from old settings to these new settings, you're driving the speed of the old lawnmower.
Mm-hmm.
To get from place to place. That's something that aggravates me when I play. Is just, it just takes too long to get from one zone to the next. And you say I'm doing 39 mile an hour? Not even close. It bugged me that much that I had to take the time and count out 10 seconds and see how many of those dotted lines I crossed across to figure out the math. I go, well, I'll be damned. No wonder why it feels like we're going so bloody slow, because we are going so damn slow.
No, I mean, you can definitely tell that their games that they make are designed for long play. And that's why they do, I think, why they do what they do. In Lumberjacks, I mean, yes, everything takes a long time, everything. So, and I think that's why they do it. Like, I mean, have you guys ever timed out how long it takes you to use the stump grinder?
Well, if I can get it placed on top, I mean, that's something else. I mean,
that's a whole other subject. Yeah. I mean, just to, I mean, once it's in position, just to grind it.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I mean, yes, in real life it would take much longer, but in the game speed, it's about, I would say about a half hour, 45 minutes. It's just almost an hour per stump that you're doing. That's not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you got to go back with the planter, and you got to plant it. The planter moves a little bit quicker. But, I mean, going back to the vehicles, I mean, yes, I mean, everything is driving below 20 miles an hour, which is ridiculous. I mean, yes, I know we're in the mountains and stuff, but I do believe they have vehicles that can go faster in the mountains. Like, I could be wrong though, but
yeah. I could see old Putt not having any compression in her engine and going, trying to go up that hill and going bang, bang.
I could see that too. But when the Doom buggy and all that struggles too, no.
Well, even the new Maserati Mercedes thingy does the same.
Yeah,
it's I do on that one. Would if any developers are listening in right now, speed that up. Yeah, that's leave your NPCs. If your NPCs have to be like that, that's fine. I got no problems passing them.
No.
Yeah, but at the same time, yeah, exactly. We do it all the time with all the other vehicles. So why can't we just separate that NPC programming from the driving program for the player?
Well, I mean, the NPCs are driving slow because when you can pass them with putt-putt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can pass them with the forklift.
Yeah.
That's not right.
No.
That's not right.
So speaking of things that aren't right, what's your guys' thoughts about having animals in game, such as chickens, milking cows, shearing sheep? Last I checked, unless we were running our own homestead to build the home out of all those logs that we chop down and all that, I think that would be the time and place for it. Do you guys think that those animals have a time and place in Lumberjack's Dynasty?
I'll go first on this one. Yes and no. I don't think that most people in that type of environment would have a full barn full of animals. Now, they might have 1 or 2 cows. They might have a couple chickens. That's it.
Like I said, homesteading.
Yeah.
But how many homesteads have their own big, huge sawmill for commercial purposes, though?
Yeah, none that I know of, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And the sheep, I do like the addition of the sheep. Again, what game are we playing? Are we playing Farmer's Dynasty or Lumberjack's Dynasty? So
Rebrand. So
Yeah.
Sorry. Didn't mean to say that out loud.
I figure we'll get to that too.
yeah, I don't understand the purpose of having them in the game when they serve no function to the main storyline of the game or any sub storylines of the game. They had to add a sub story just so you could get the animals, which is not good in itself. I mean, hey, let's go to random person and talk to everyone. Hey, do you have animals to sell? Hey, do you have animals to sell? Hey, do you have animals? Oh, wow, you have dogs to sell. Okay, I'll buy a dog. Oh, you have sheep to sell. I'll buy a sheep. Oh, you have cows. I'll buy, it's just like, no, I mean, and yes, you don't have to do that for the game. But if you don't do it, you just made the game even longer.
Yep.
And it's long enough already. Now, I understand the part of it for the cooking part of it. But again, you're not going to have a full farm full of animals.
Exactly.
So-
Am I homesteading or am I lumberjacking?
Exactly. So, and when you're starting off and you're doing everything by yourself, I mean, every morning routine, milk the cows, get the eggs, feed the animals, the dog or cat if you have them, every now and then shear the sheep, and then you can finally go out and be a lumberjack again. But by then it's already noon or in the afternoon. So if you had to shoot a sheep anyways, if you had just had to milk the cows and get the eggs, I mean, you're still morning.
Yeah, you're still not out of there until like 9:30, 10 a.m. And
Right.
you get up at 6.
Now, I do like the aspect of the greenhouse, and I do like that they shrunk it down. I do like that. I don't see anything wrong with having a personal greenhouse to grow some vegetables because it doesn't have to be maintained daily. I mean, yes, it is more beneficial if you maintain it daily, but it's not something that has to be maintained daily.
And really, all you do is you just press a button and you're out again, unless it's harvest day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, that is one thing I really, really enjoy, but then again, I enjoy gardening in real life. So, that's a bit of a personal preference, than it is game mechanic wise. But
out of all the animals, the only animals that make sense to me in the game are the sheep. Those are the only ones that make sense to me in the game.
I would like to see more done with the animals. Like for the sheep, say, for example, oh, this farm here keeps losing sheep. They don't have GPS trackers on them. We got to go find them. Well, can we not build them a fence?
Yeah, exactly. Build the stupid fence.
Yeah.
I'm tired of finding sheep.
Mhm.
Yeah. And another thing, speaking of greenhouse and sheep, I think that you should be able to buy the seed from the store,
Yes.
not from finding a flippin' sheep.
Yeah. That's the only way to get the greenhouse goods.
No, exactly. I put in, a few requests,
And it's always random too.
Mm-hmm.
Let me pick the seeds I want.
Right.
Exactly.
I don't need 200 pumpkin seeds and 0 tomato seeds,
Yeah. You need jalapenos, but all you keep getting is tomatoes, like, oh, come on. Yeah. And it's only like 5 or 6 seeds at the most anyway. It's like, well, I have 32 frickin' slots in my greenhouse and I've done 17 sheep missions and I still can't fill up my bloody greenhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, that to me was, a big con for sure. What about you, Deuce? What do you think about the animals?
I'm gonna try to be as nice as possible. I think they're stupid. I think it is. I think it's ridiculous. Honestly, when I heard they were bringing animals, I was like, "What?
Why?
Like, why? Like chickens, I get, right? I understand chickens. If I had a lumber mill that was family run, and I had the room for them, I would have chickens myself, right? Fresh eggs. I like, take maybe get some fresh chicken from time to time. You don't want to kill them every day, but you know what I mean? Like, I get it, I wouldn't even have cows. Like, cows are, it's not that kind of farm. It's not that kind of homestead. Like, look where they're at. They don't have that much room there. Why do you have cows?
Well, and here's
they don't
the
even
greatest
get to
thing.
get out in the pasture. Like, wow.
Yeah.
There's not
no
a single
grazing.
cow that's got a calf, so technically they shouldn't be able to be milked.
Milking bulls? Oh, God.
Mm.
You've been drinking the milk, Mike.
Oh.
I just think it's silly. It doesn't fit the game. It doesn't fit the narrative that they've painted for the advertising of the game, right? The before the game came out, Lumberjack's Dynasty. You buy land and chop trees and you get equipment, and that's great. And you can buy cows. What? Like what? 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 Sheep, I almost understand on a larger scale. So, and just bear with me a minute. This ties into the furniture factory, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're family run operation where you have a lumber mill and you also have a furniture mill where you make specialized furniture, handcrafted stuff, whatever, you cut it from the solid, you put it together yourself, whatever. You use your own sheep wool to make the padding and
The upholstery stuffing. Gotcha.
Yeah, so it makes sense to that degree if it's a small form customized furniture place, right?
Well, maybe
Because-
they're getting leather from the cows.
I mean, maybe, but we have to show that we have to slaughter the cows.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, at least with the sheep, we shear them and we hold on to the wool, or I've been holding on to the wool, hoping one of these days I get the furniture factory. But you know,
or even have a trailer that you load the cattle into, that you then
they
take
show
to
being slaughtered.
exactly. You just take them to to the butchers or whomever you want to call it, type of thing, and then a day later you go and you pick up your pallet of leather to take to the furniture shop. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong here.
Yeah.
Does anyone else on the entire map have chickens or cows or a dog or a cat or anything?
Yeah.
They all have chicken coops. I've not seen chickens anywhere
You
else.
see the buildings. You don't ever.
Oh, that's
see
true.
Animals.
Well, same with
sheep.
the NPC cars.
You see sheep.
Do you
That's
see
it.
any of the NPC cars ever parked in the driveway at night or in the early hours in the morning?
They're always driving around.
No, they're out holding me up while I'm trying to get to the other side of the
So
map.
they're all out of towners. They're not towny cars. They're all out of towners. They're just driving through. The towners themselves don't have any vehicles.
Right. Yeah, I don't understand the animal part of it. Like, honestly, like greenhouse even. I get that. Right. I get that.
Mhm.
I get that it's a small family run, place, and you have to have your other substance outside of stuff you buy at the grocery store, right? I get that. Like the character
fresh.
that we do what?
You'd want fresh.
Right. I mean, the character that we play is seems very capable of being able to do all these things as they go, which is the way the game builds, right? As you go, you get the greenhouse seeds, and then you get the chickens, and then you get the cows and the sheep, and that's as you play the game. So I mean, it makes sense in that state where your character develops the ability to care for these animals and to have the green thumb and grow his greenhouse crops and stuff. But it doesn't make sense for a full-blown lumber mill that's trying to produce large quantities of wood for a furniture factory that they just bought to produce large amounts of furniture to send out of town. That is
I
too
thought we were
much.
making lotion and shampoo.
What I mean, that's a whole nother topic too. But
I
I
was
mean,
just collecting mushrooms. I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, I just don't understand the animals. Like the chickens, and I don't mean 30 or whatever we can buy. I mean, 10, 20 maybe at the most. I get.
Well,
But-
even the best laying hens, I mean, they're only going to put out, like out of a 7-day schedule, they'll, if you're lucky, put out 5.
Right. So I mean, you would want,
A dozen.
10
That'd be
or 10
about
to
it.
20. Yeah, 10 to 20 would be about all I would want for sure.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But I don't understand. Cows are so expensive to upkeep, especially in a setting like that. They can't free range. You know what I mean? You can't let them out. They don't go out to pasture. They stay in the barn all day. Like
They're going to become the best Wagyu beef out there.
Yeah, but what else would we do with all our grass? Smoke
I mean, that's true. That's true. That's another problem.
Open a dispensary in town. Yep.
I mean, in Farmers Dynasty, it didn't even make sense. Like the one thing I remember when I first bought the first cow in Farmers Dynasty was, man, I hope one of these days we get to like put them out in a pasture. You know,
They stay in the barn the whole time.
Yeah, I was hoping that
to this day,
with Farmers Dynasty, we'd be able to turn those 2 fields at the home farm into actual pastures. I thought that was
my tractors in them.
Yeah, now it's just a giant parking lot for me. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
One's the giant parking lot, and the other one's my test field for any new DLC
the worst
they had.
the worst part about the animals, though, is that they literally just plopped them over from Farmers Dynasty in the same exact setting.
It is a copy and paste. Yep, fully. Yep.
Yeah, except they combined the barn and the chicken coop. That's it.
Yep.
It's literally copy paste.
I brought my Rooster Epstein with me from Farmers Dynasty to Lumberjack's Dynasty.
It's the exact same model. Yep.
It is.
Yeah, it's 100% the exact same model. But it does have the new graphical stroke outline. I will give it that. I've done a side-by-side comparison to the animals, like to the chickens. And the chickens in Lumberjack's Dynasty do have that black outline, stroke, whatever you want to call it. It makes it pop. Gives it a bit more, ability to shade it.
Right.
But other than that, though, you guys are all right. It is a copy and paste right out of their original Farmers Dynasty of the same engine. So,
I mean, I understand why they did that, and they didn't go with the new design because it cost money.
Mm-hmm. It does, and when you're starting off, trying to do a series on your own in that with the new engine and all that, you do have to recoup your costs, right? So, I can understand that from a developer / publishing world where and why you want to reuse certain assets over and over again. In this case, with the animals and such, I would have liked to see them add on to it, like instead of all being, just white chickens, maybe have a few browns, maybe, a couple of the Easter egg colors or whatever they call those ones, those type of the bluish and the reds and that with them. But on to me, I don't think they're necessary, period. Honestly, I want to come in, I see the game, I buy it as Lumberjack's Dynasty. I'm expecting to play as a lumberjack. I'm not expecting to be doing any homesteading or creating soaps and shampoos and everything else, trying to become a gourmet chef just so I can catch one of the new old vehicles.
Right.
So that's going to bring me on to my next point I've written down here is questing. Now, they did do a big change from Farmers Dynasty to Lumberjack's Dynasty by adding all these different quests in. What are your guys' opinions on the quests and how they're implemented? Start with you there, Mike.
Some are good, some are bad. I'm trying to think here. It's been so long since I've done a quest in the game.
I think that says it all right there.
How about Mayor Quest? The Mayor Quests.
The Mayor... Well, I haven't got to the Mayor Quest since before this full release. I've been there, but not since full release. Well, what they claim to be full release.
Love the topic.
Yeah, I know. I liked where it was going previously. I don't know where it's at now. I've purposely not watched anybody beat it because I don't want to know, because I want to find out in my own game.
Okay, so then you'd probably be more towards then for the quests to get the vehicles then, say, for example, say the cooking quest. Is it a step up from Farmers Dynasty? Is it a step down? Or is it just a discombobulation cluster muck?
I would, in order to get the vehicle for free, I would much rather do the cooking quest and crap like that. I mean, like, with the what's that last one I got? The claw truck, whatever they're calling it.
The rustic bison. Yep.
Yeah. I didn't mind because I mean, I had almost everything on me I needed already because, it's Herbalist Simulator.
Mm-hmm.
And I already had chickens and cows and stuff like that. And I only had to milk the cows a couple days to get everything I needed from them. But I don't mind doing that to be able to get vehicles because it takes the money out of the game that I'm struggling so hard to get to be able to advance to do something else.
Okay, well, with that in mind, do you think the quest would have been better if they would have said, can you send me 6 pallets of wet birch, 7 pallets of dry pine instead? And, getting rid of the culinary aspect of it?
Yes.
Do you think that...
But also, keep in mind, for people that are playing this for the first time, when you get lint, that flatbed, the pallet truck, keep it as long as you can.
Yeah, don't finish all the James missions. So just do 2 of the James missions and then just stop. Don't finish the last of the cabins. Just go on, do your thing, use it to take your dry pallets to sell them until you can buy your own, then finish the James mission. So I totally agree with you on that one. Both you and I, Mike, we both, when we redid our seasons and everything else, we played them as if we were brand new users without that information. And I haven't picked the game up in over a month now because of it.
And that's why I'm stuck where I'm at.
Yep. No, it's the same thing here. What about you, Deuce? What do you think of the questing over their original Farmers Dynasty to the Lumberjacks Dynasty? Is it well suited, not suited for it? Just a major cluster muck?
Well, I don't. So in Farmers Dynasty, the quests were all pretty much the same, right? Harvest this field, plow this field, cultivate this field.
Don't ask questions, deliver this package.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, deliver the package. So if we take those into consideration and we just flip it to Lumberjacks Dynasty and go transport, sheep find, build this building. What's the other one? Is that it?
Transport, mow, find the sheep.
Yeah, that's right. Mow. Yeah. So you got to find the sheep, you got transport, you got mow, and then you've got
fix up a limited amount of buildings. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was pretty much the same thing in Farmers Dynasty, except you had a few extras in there that actually involved farming, right?
Mm-hmm. Plow the field, harvest, all that.
Illogical completely to have a quest in a game about farming that involves farming. I know, but they had them in there. Lumberjacks Dynasty, you have a lumberjack game with quest that does not involve lumberjacking.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't. I understand that I sound like I'm dogging on the game completely. Don't get me wrong. I understand the pace of the game and what it's meant to be, but from a content creator's standpoint is what I'm thinking here, not a player this is the one game that I've picked up in the last couple of weeks, so I'm going to spend most of my time playing it. That's not what I do, so it's hard for me to go on that premise. But as a content creator standpoint, where you play multiple games a week and that's what your community's used to seeing, it's a hard game because those quests they're literally in the way of getting to the lumberjack part of the game, right? If they were lumberjack based, hey, okay, so you do have a few, right? You do have a few. Hey, I need these trees cut and put over here. Great. Those are fine. Lumberjack quests. And those are the beginning of the game though, right? Mm-hmm. Those aren't the rotating daily quests. So if there was something in there with, I need this many pallets, can you deliver them?
This tree's in my yard, can you remove it?
Yeah, tree removal, that kind of stuff would be great, man, because that's an actual thing that people need. I've never had somebody ask me, hey, you know anybody that can go find my sheep? No, never happened, right? Never happened. You know anybody that can fix up this building? Yeah, I know a guy, actually. Here's his card, Okay, cool. I understand the building fixing. That goes with the lumber, the pallets, all that kind of stuff. Okay, good. I would have liked to have seen them instead of just doing the copy-paste from Farmers Dynasty where you just go repair the old buildings. Somebody pays you to upgrade their buildings.
Right? Yes, bring in dry planks. I totally agree. And then paint it.
Yep.
I thought for sure that's what it was going to be like when I first jumped into it and started doing testing.
That's what I was hoping. Yeah, I was hoping for that because I knew in Farmers Dynasty, we had the repair, but I was hoping they would take it a step further in Lumberjacks and go, hey, we need you to completely rebuild this with new wood. Okay, cool. I got you. I've got, 5 pallets or whatever, whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter. I got it covered. I can
Exactly.
do that.
And get at least $1,000 more than what it would have taken for you to go down and just sell those pallets instead, to make it worthwhile.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's just unreal how out of touch the quests are with the actual premise of the game, which is being a lumberjack. Like the one quest makes sense. The buildings, right? And then of course the few at the beginning where you go cut the trees for people. That makes total sense. Those two.
Yep.
Even the buildings is slightly out of character, right? Because this guy came from the city. He's just now learning how to be a lumberjack, but yet you expect him to, I mean, he's pretty handy, but you expect him to repair your entire barn?
Yeah.
Your house?
That
your roof?
structural beam
Like,
out there, it's got a few termite holes. That's good enough. Let's just keep on repairing. It's like, should be
Right,
replaced.
That beam you've got in your barn out there only holds 150 pounds per square foot. We're going to need to replace that. No, he's not you know what I mean? Like, that's not his character. It just doesn't fit the premise of the character that you're told you're playing. 2 days into the game, you're going to repair somebody's house, and it's like, okay, fixing a board on the fascia, maybe, but you're not rebuilding, you're not repairing the whole house, kind of thing. The farmer guy, yes, I understand that. He was very handy. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. It was told that way from the beginning. This guy was told the other way from the beginning. So
Press the wrench and bubble gum. That guy's going to fix it all.
Right. Yeah. I just don't like the fact that it's kind of a copy paste, and that the large portion of the daily cycle of quests really don't make sense. So that's it. I would like to have seen more geared toward lumberjack. That's it.
Yes.
U-bone?
Well, I gotta agree. Because I mean, basically, this is how I look at it. Who am I today? Am I a carpenter? Am I a delivery person? Am I am I a sheep private investigator where I got to go find the missing sheep? Or, again, yeah, like everyone is saying, when do I get a chance to be a lumberjack? Like in Farmer's Dynasty, yes, you had to do farming stuff. Why can't we do lumberjacking stuff? Why can't we go cut a tree down? I did like the part where we help the ranger. Okay, that made sense. That part of the story and the quest kind of made sense. But you do like a couple missions and you're done with them.
Mm-hmm. Well, then next thing you know, you're investigating other people for pollution, for polluted lake.
Mm-hmm.
Right, which is not something a lumberjack would do.
No, he'd be more than happy to help you, to report it, if he's out there while he's cutting a tree and he's like, oh, why is that barrel floating in the water? I better go let the mayor know or something.
I mean, this is the way I feel about this game and Farmer's Dynasty, is that you live in a town where everyone is freaking lazy as all can be. I mean, they can't even mow their own lawn.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go do it. I mean, yeah, they'll pay you to do it. And where do they get all this money from? I never see any of them work.
Oh, it's because they don't have new cars.
The government pays them to sit on their butt.
Yeah, are they getting some of the stimulus money here, or what? I mean, I don't understand it. To me, it is really cheap story quest stuff to give out. It's just, let's have them do this. This will be good. I mean, yes, I will be honest. When the lawn mowing did come out, I did enjoy the lawn mowing. Because at least, okay, now if I mow everyone's lawn, I'm going to get money for it, and it's the only way that you can get grass to feed your cows. So at least there is a purpose for the lawn mowing part. But to everything else, I'm tired of finding sheep. I'm tired of repairing houses. Here, let me make you a hammer, and let me give you my hammer, and you can do it. I'll sit back and I'll pay you to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why can't we pay somebody to fix our stuff?
I have to agree. I'm very happy that there's a quest system in comparison to Farmer's Dynasty.
Just lazy.
I just think that it needs to be more on the theme of the game. Instead of going out and mowing everybody's yard, why couldn't we have just been cutting down bushes?
Right. It's like, hey, what? Okay, what hat am I wearing today? I'm the lawnmower today. Okay, I'll go. Oh, I get to be a delivery person today. Where does
My
that have to
favorite-
do with anything with trees?
My favorite thing with the lawn mowing, because I don't have the lawnmower, I refuse to spend money on it. I've got the string trimmer. I'm good. Is the floating piles in the sky after you're done. I don't.
That's an engine thing, though. But yeah.
It doesn't bother me. I actually enjoy that.
It gives me a giggle. It gives me a giggle. I call them my green UFOs.
It pretty much looks like it too.
Yep. So, well, getting on to final thoughts there, Mike, I'll start with you. What do you think this game needs to make it better?
New engine.
No, that's fair enough. That is definitely fair enough. Anything else? Like, I don't know, better mechanics,
Make it not such a grind in the beginning. I understand it's supposed to be a long haul game, but you shouldn't have to have 300 to 400 hours in it before you can attempt to pay anything off. Just starting out from scratch, like not knowing anything about the game, because that's what it's going to take.
And what about not being able to find a wife until Act 3 or Chapter 3?
That's a bit rough.
Especially when, the wife is supposed to take care of the chickens and the cows.
Oh, yeah. She's supposed to take care of the homestead.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing quotations with my fingers. You can't see me. You can't see me.
It's a real official now. He's got the air quotes.
Yeah.
I do.
What about you, Bone? What do you think that they could do to make this game better?
I could say just put it in a metal can, but I won't be that blunt. When this was in the drawing stages, on the drawing board, and nothing was done with it, they needed to have a purpose of what is going on.
More of a solidified vision for the end of the game, like the whole game.
Yeah, I mean there is no end game, because we never die. We could carry on forever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just they needed a direction. I mean, at least with, and it was the same with Farmers Dynasty. I mean, the grind is one thing. Us as players know it's going to be a grind. We're familiar with the grind. Everything that they do is a grind. It's just the grind has very little purpose. I mean, what if we just wanted to come here and just help aunt and uncle, not be, hey, there you go. And if you want to stay here, now you have to buy us. Well, I didn't really want to be a lumberjack today, but I guess I'm going. I know it's the game. It's the title of the game, Lumberjack's Dynasty and everything. But the way that they make you do things and the amount of money that it takes you to move on in order for you to have the ability to even try to do the next thing is ridiculous. I mean, I think all of us can say we have hundreds of hours in this game. And now, yes, when it was in early access, I think some of us were able to pay off the uncle. But we never went any farther. And you look at it, and you look at how much time it takes. As far as a streamer goes, if it wasn't for the community pushing us, I don't think we would ever do this game. I really don't. Now, as far as the individual playing it, I mean, hey, if it's you don't have many games in your library and you got time to do it, that's fine. You know it's going to take a long time to get anywhere in the game. And like I did say in the beginning comments, it is a relaxing and calming game. Just don't expect to get anywhere anytime soon. Now, in order for them to improve it, get rid of all the BS that's in the game. Just get rid of it. No one asked for it. Get rid of it. No one asked for clothing. No one asked for cars. It's pointless. It's has nothing to do with the game. The social point aspect of it. Why is it in the game? Yeah, it's not needed in the game.
Yeah,
If
why
you
not
wanted to
just give
have
us more money?
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to have a basic scale of, are you liked? Is it, neutral, or are you not liked? That's fine. I'm okay with that.
But shouldn't that be on the individual NPC? You spend enough time with, NPC A, and then you go over to NPC D, and NPC D is like, well, I hardly know you. Why would I want to do something?
Exactly. I mean, you are constantly going up to people that you have no idea, and they're willing to, hey, can you fix my house? I have no idea if you know how to swing a hammer, but hey, I need you to fix my house. Or, hey, I know I just met you, but I lost my sheep. Can you find it? It's that white woolly one. Not that one over there, but it's somewhere out there. Go find it.
Yeah. It's not the 30 in the field.
Yeah, because I'm too lazy to go out and go get it. Or, hey, I know there's 5 people in my yard right now, but yeah, none of us want to mow my lawn. So can you do it for me? Yeah, I mean, just get rid of all that stuff. It's just pointless to the game. It makes it into not being a fun game. I mean, most of us pick this game up because we want to be a lumberjack. Plain and simple. Let us be a lumberjack. Let
us run a business as a lumberjack.
Exactly. It's just, now as far as the quest for like the vehicles and stuff like that, the early stuff, I have no issues with that whatsoever. And in fact, I think the early stuff should be in worse shape than what it is. I think that would be really cool if they did that. Like, hey, I can give you this, but it won't run. Can you fix it for me? Type of thing. Mm-hmm. If you can fix it, you can have it. Or, hey, I can give you this, but that tire's kind of low, or it's not holding air, so you always got to put air in or something like. Or, hey, this thing burns fuel, so it's going to go through fuel twice as fast. Type of thing. You're going to get bad machinery to start, but that's how you would do that. Normally, if you're starting off, you're going to buy what you can afford. That's it. You don't have. I mean, no one's going to save up in the beginning of the game, 200 and some odd thousand to buy a Ponzi. Especially when you have no idea how to use it. I mean, I love it how the fact that you can jump into any piece of equipment and you automatically know how to use it. Yes, you came up here before and you helped aunt and uncle and all this other stuff. But I mean, as far as we know, Grandpa only had the logging trailer. That's all we see.
Yeah.
So yeah, he would cut it down and stack it up on there and run it through the mill. And I mean, I don't even know how we got rid of planks. I mean, we have no idea how he got rid of planks. I mean, maybe people came and picked them up. I don't know. Or maybe he just sold logs. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll chime in here for what I was thinking. Honestly, I really think that they need to do more with a storyline to explain things such as why we can't continue on using Uncle's old new tractor and trailer. Why can't we? We have no idea as gamers. They're just sitting right out there behind his house. Is there a backstory? Does the mayor, did the mayor come by and say, hey, look, you guys are 6 months late on your lease or whatever. I'm taking the keys of your tractor as collateral until I get paid. We have no idea. We're left in the dark. Well, just, you know what I mean? Like yeah, exactly. Just something to, identify a lot of those open holes that the game has. There's a lot of open holes that, could be filled in with storyline. And for me, I think that's what they could do to make the game better, is to go in there and make an in-depth storyline. Not just a little bit here, a little bit there, tied to a chapter here, tied to a chapter there. Not things that are mandatory to do, but things that if you do, you get the backstory of everything. It becomes complete.
As we know, it is a very lazy written story. And as you guys know, and then the people listening to this or watching this later, you're going to realize that, yes, I can tell a better story than they can in a game.
Oh, way more.
And I don't have any open holes. All my holes are filled. So I don't understand. It seemed like they did as much minimum as they could in this game as possible. There's no quick fix. I know I keep on avoiding the main question of what they could do to make it better.
That's a whole another thing on its own.
The simplest answer would be to start over. That's the simplest answer I can give without just going all negative into every aspect of the game. So, but Deuce still has to talk, and
yeah.
I'm actually the one talking too much now.
All right, Deuce, you're up next. We still got another hour to kill, right?
I think that was a well-deserved rant, sir. Honestly.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even say rant. I think it was a well-deserved point. Like that whole point you made was well-deserved. I think because I think they did. I think they overcalculated how many people were going to spend 1,000 hours playing this game to pay off Uncle. Let's just be honest. You can't because you can't. Both of y'all, you and Mike, both made excellent points about this situation, right? You start the game, you have no knowledge. If you have no knowledge, if you haven't watched anybody play it, if you watched 10 minutes of it, you went, man, that looks cool. I'm gonna go get the game, right? And you start out, you don't realize at the beginning that you can't advance to chapter 3 until you paid off Uncle. Good luck getting that 250 grand together. Like, I mean, sorry for the spoilers in this conversation. You're gonna have to put spoiler alert in the title or something, but for people that have never seen it and never played it, but looked at picking it up. But you have to have 250 grand to pay off Uncle. Well, you gotta have 200 grand to buy the furniture factory to get to chapter 3 for paying off Uncle, right? You can't get married to get to chapter 3. You can't do the tree planting until you get to chapter 3. Mike made a point about being able to buy certain vehicles at a certain time. That's stupid. It's dumb. It really is dumb.
Why is it behind a chapter wall?
Exactly.
Why is it that I can't go out and get a planter or a stump remover right from the very get-go? I didn't realize that dealerships all across the world said, oh no, sorry, you got to be this experienced or this whatever before you can buy it from us. They're like, no, we'll take your money. If you crash it, well, we got parts. You know, like...
I mean, literally, yeah. I walk in and I'm going, hey, I want to buy that stump grinder over there. And the salesman goes, you ever used one? Nope. You got money? Yep. Take it.
Yep.
When you break it, bring it back to us. We'll repair it here. Okay. You know what I mean? That's the way it works. Like, I don't understand the chapter wall thing. I just that's the one thing. Put the animals aside because you don't have to buy animals, right? You don't have to buy them. It's not required to do anything in the game.
No, you can still go out and buy milk and eggs and everything from the store. You know.
Can buy milk and eggs. You can find some people with different veggies. Yes. So the greenhouse is not a quote requirement either, but I mean, you want to have all that stuff available if you want to play the game as they've built it in full, right? So you want to have all that stuff because you want all the experience of the game. That part of the experience shouldn't even be there to begin with, but that's besides the point. That's not required to be the lumberjack, right? Going out and doing side quests isn't required to be a lumberjack. You could literally, once you get the flatbed, just cut trees and be a lumberjack. But the time scale that it would take you to do anything is, trust me, I know, ridiculous. Because that's what I've been doing. I've been cutting trees, selling pallets, drying pallets. I've been trying not to do a whole lot of would you call it, Gargoyle? The shampoo simulator.
Oh yeah, herbalist simulator. Yep.
Yeah, I've been trying not to do a lot of that, but I try to mix it up because honestly, people get tired of watching you cut trees, haul trees, cut trees, haul trees, put them in the dryer, take them out of the dryer, put them in the dryer, take them out of the dryer, cut trees, haul trees, cut trees, haul trees, put them in the dryer, take them out of the dryer. Go stack 100 in your barn over here so they can dry in the next year or so. You know, that gets tiring for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
As a content creator, because it gets tiring for you, it gets tiring for your audience, because it's like they literally could care less what you're doing at a certain point. Like, my community's told me 100 times, it doesn't really matter what game you're playing, I'll be here. But I can tell you this, a lot of the games I play, people like talking about the game too. That's not one of them. We talked about aliens the last time I played the game, and UFOs and crypto and Dogecoin. Like, nothing was said about the game, honestly. Like, I'm the only one that said anything about the game because it takes so flippin' long. A lot of people lose interest after they realize that they can't pay off Uncle in 6 months or so in real lifetime. Like, it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. It's not
It really
something
is
that,
ridiculous.
if you're just a weekend warrior, you got your 2 hours every Saturday night for you. This is my game time. You will not finish it in a year.
No.
God, no.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. That's all I have time to play it. You know what I mean? Like 2.5, 3 hours a week. That's it. Because I have other games that I play. I have other content I like making. I like playing the game. Again, don't get me wrong. If this is our final thoughts, don't get me wrong. The game is great. And like Bone said, if you've got just a few games in your library and you want a game that's I call it a life simulator, because it simulates what people would want to do. You know what I mean? If they had that opportunity and they had the abilities to do all those things, I think a lot of people think they would want a couple of cows and a couple of chickens and a couple of sheep and, cut down some trees and be able to make their own furniture and that kind of stuff. I get that, right? Go pick some herbs and cook up some stuff at your house, learn to make your own shampoos and oils and stuff. I get all that, right?
But
and
that
it
to me
plays
is
like
more
that.
of a homestead simulator. That's not as much as
And
a lumberjack simulator. You know what I mean?
And that's what it should have been. Yeah. And I agree with Bone. If you want to make it better, start over.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, take it back to Lumberjack and let it be a Lumberjack simulator or Lumberjack Dynasty instead of a life simulator Dynasty. I mean, because it's not Homestead Dynasty. It should have been called Homestead Dynasty. Honestly,
I agree. I honestly agree.
Yes.
I can agree with Gargoyle on that. Homestead Dynasty, but don't take anything away from the game as in what is there, right? Let's just look at what is there. What they built into the game, most of it works really well, right? It just doesn't all make sense if you look at the big picture, the storyline, the where you came from. Now you're doing this, and like Bone said, some dude shows up in my house and goes, "Oh, you need some help working on your house? Yeah, I got you covered." You don't know this person. Like, why would you want them rebuilding your house? It's stupid. But if you take what is there, right? It's an enjoyable experience, and if you've got a couple of games in your library, or you're looking to play something a couple hours a day, to relax, and when you get home in the afternoon after work or on weekends or whatever, or all of the above, it's a fantastic game. It really is, because it really is relaxing. And I know we haven't made it sound that way in this podcast, but it really is relaxing. It just seems like it's a really good game to chill out to, and it is, because you're going to have to keep a chilled attitude to get anywhere in it. But all in all, I still think it's a good game. It just, for streamers, content creators that don't solely play that game, it takes way too long to get anywhere. And I think that's my biggest frustration. I'm lazy.
Mm-hmm. Your final thoughts, Mike?
I just want to add one more point if I can.
Yeah.
I'm on the Steam page, and if you look at the global achievements, okay, it'll tell you the percentage of people have done that have achieved a certain achievement. Less than 35% of the people that have bought this game, less than 35%, have even fixed all their buildings.
Wow,
that's not good, because fixing the buildings is fairly easy.
Yep, repair all of your farm buildings, less than 35%.
And isn't that one of the requirements in order to move on to the next step, in order for your auntie and uncle to allow you to start moving around?
Less than a third have repaired the lumber mill.
Yeah,
so that means less than a third of the people that have played this have not even made it to the point where they realize that the $250,000 they need is hard to get to. Less than
50% have got the tractor.
Whoa.
It's 49.7% owned a tractor.
What did they do? Load the game and walk away?
I'm reading the Steam global stats right now. So, I mean, less than 16% have cut down 50 trees.
Wow. That says a lot.
That says a lot. Yeah, when you look at, if you go up to the very top, right here at the top, that everybody looks at, right? The mostly positive, the recent reviews, all-time reviews, release date. Yeah, when you look at that, mostly positive reviews, but that's only for people that's left a review on the game. 1,343 mostly positive.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with your statistics combined with that, it tells you that the only people that actually cared to go leave a review were the ones that had something positive to say. For the majority, anyway.
Yeah.
because most people would just go, it's not even worth going to leave a review on if they dislike the game that much. I don't leave reviews on games I don't like.
Same here.
Because I don't like being negative. You know, I like giving constructive criticism, and I feel like that's what we're trying to do with this podcast. But
right,
it's not about hating on the developers at all. It's about what we see that should have made the players' experience better. So,
Your final thoughts, Mike?
With your statistics that just makes a huge difference in the way I think about the game. Like, honestly, I didn't know that. I had no idea. So,
I've got to agree with Boney and Deuce on the final thoughts there. I mean, I don't have much to add to that, or any to add to that. It's not Herbalist Simulator. It needs to be what it is.
You know, my final thoughts is, do I recommend it? Yeah, if you're the type of person that, you know, is looking for a game that, you know, while you're on hold with the government for 4 hours that you can sit down and play, and the next thing you know, you're going to be going, hello, on the speakerphone, you can go grab it, you know, and it'd be like, wow, that didn't take any time at all. Then you realize, oh, I've been waiting 4.5 hours. Then yes, you know, if you have that type of mentality that you're looking for a game that's going to last you a lot of hours, you know, it's something that, you know, you can set it down and come back to it 3 months later and just pick right up where you left off because it's the same, you know, nothing's going to have changed in that meantime while you were playing, then yeah, I'd say definitely go for it. You know, if you're looking into something that's, you know, faster action, you know, you're going to get the game, you know, if you play it, you know, even every day, if you were to play it for like, say, 4 hours every day, I don't think you get it done in a month.
You couldn't.
I honestly don't think so. I mean, and that's, you know, utilizing everything in the game. That's, you know, selling with only dry planks, that's grabbing all the shampoos, you know, doing every little thing as efficient as possible. I don't think you get it done in a month. You know, if you're looking for a game that's going to last a very long time, you know, it's going to give you a sense of fulfillment. Because trust me, when you finally reach the point that you can pay off Uncle, you're feeling damn good with yourself that you just spent a lot of time on a game. You know, and it's like, yeah, woohoo, I did it, you know, and then you look over how many hours you got in there, like, oh, I have 873 hours. You know, like, woo, you know, like, I didn't realize I put that many hours into the game. Then this is a game for you. And if you're looking for something that's just, you know, strictly lumberjacking, I don't think this game would be for you. You know, but if you're looking for something that's got a little bit of everything, yeah, I'd say go for it. You know, for me personally, I'd say pick it up when it's on sale. You know, summer sales coming up and stuff like that. So, you know, those would be good times, I'd say, to pick it up, you know, at a good price and, you know, and feel good about the purchase. But in the end, you know, at the end of the day, there will come a point where, you know, you move on to another game at the end of it, as all games do. They all end at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Just one will just take you a lot longer if you're a completionist before most. So I do want to say thank you to everybody who's joined us here today. Thank you very much, Mike.
Thank you.
Bone, as always, I love your comedy. Thank you for being the heir of enlightenment on a lot of things tonight. I do appreciate your points of views, especially when it comes down to the things that, you know, that none of us really thought of, such as the Steam examples. And Deuce, thank you as always, dude, for hanging out and, you know, being the smart aleck as you always are. We always appreciate the quips and that in there. Thank you, sir. You had several good points as well when it came down to like the vehicles and that. So good on you, man. Thank you.
The sarcastic truth is hard to come by sometimes.
Yeah.
Are we going to give our final score then?
Yeah, we could do that. Out of 5 thinking caps, I'd say this one probably rates about a 3 for me. Oh?
I don't know if I can go that high. I'm going to give it a 2. 2 thinking caps.
Okay. Mike?
I'm at a 3.
Deuce?
I am also at a solid 3.
All right. So that's not bad. You know, quite honestly, we played a lot of games out there that, you know, we all would give a 1. But
or 0.
Yeah, or a 0. Yeah. Yeah.
I was gonna say, there's some out there that I just wouldn't bother.
Some I wouldn't even talk about.
Yep.
So if anybody's made it this far into the podcast so far, we want to hear from you. How many thinking caps do you think this game needs out of 5? So if you played it before, let us know. If you haven't played it before and you have any questions, hey, comments are always there. They're always free to use. Put in your info. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. There are 4 of us, and throughout the week we kind of rotate through. Everybody checks it all out and that as well. So definitely we appreciate all your guys' engagement into that as well. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you so much for becoming subscribers. And to all those who go out there and share this podcast with others, you are our heroes, our superstars. We thank you very, very much. And until the next Simcast, thank you so very much for joining us today, guys. And I'll see you all in the next one.